Hello and welcome to Dungeons and Disabled. I haven't said that in a long while. I am Steve Saylor. I am the dungeon master for the show. If you don't know what about the show, this is a show where disabled players play disabled characters in a TTRPG setting. I am very excited to be able to be back in. We're just going to have a two-player game today, and I want to introduce them real quick. Mike, why don't you let everyone know who you are and not who you're playing today, but where can people go find you online?
Okay, cool, because I was about to just go straight into trying to make this accent. But hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Mike. I go by Deretti IRL online, formerly also known as Mike the Quad. You could also just look that up too, because you know we are who we are online, and we get to play who we are. I do a lot of accessibility content. I am actually a C6 quadriplegic, so I do everything that has to do with adapting to like video games and a lot of like motor disability stuff. So that's pretty much what I do online.
Love it, love it. And also, Thor. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell the people what you do online?
Hello there, everybody. My name is Thormangander, but you can call me Thor. I do a lot of accessibility, just when it comes to how do people play video games. I like to bridge the gap between gaming and accessibility and bring people in by playing on weird controllers to open up that conversation. I'm also neurodiverse and ADHD, and I like to include that in a lot of my content. So you'll find a very energetic and bit scatterbrained fun stream.
We definitely love neurodivergency and ADHD here because I feel like that there are times that describes me to a T. So, all right. Are you both ready to jump in? I have not prepped basically these two at all of what they're going to experience other than just what led them up to where we're going to start our adventure today. But I'm very excited to be jumping back in again for Dungeons Disabled. Are we all ready to dive in?
No pun intended.
Aye, aye, Captain.
All right, here we go. Smoke fills the air and crests out over the water as a small island south of Vespera province burns. Its temple ransacked by pirates who wanted nothing more than the gold and gems that was kept in the temple. The crew of the Sentinel, led by Pirate Captain Decker, was laying the village to waste when a small boy grabbed one of the cleric's staff and stood in front of the captain and his crew. Without realizing it, the boy was making the cleric's staff glow as his anger and rage filled his entire being. Captain Decker looked upon the boy with disdain and ridicule of a whelp trying to take on a pirate. Before the captain could respond, the boy screamed out loud as a rush of energy erupted from the stone on the cleric's staff. As if he could see through his mind's eye, energy leaving his mind and flying straight to Captain Decker's mind as if a purple dagger was created out of nowhere, invisible except for the boy, and it pierced Decker's mind instantly, killing him with his mind sliver. The boy collapsed as purple energy began to emanate from him. The boy suddenly finds himself standing on top of the water, miles from the island, in the middle of the ocean. Storms rage all around him with purple lightning crashing down towards the surface of the water. He was not getting wet, nor any of the effects of the weather was touching him. Slowly through the dark clouds, a purple light started to glow. A low booming voice says, My, this is rather unusual. I summon you. You don't summon me. Piercing the dark clouds, a large eye emerges and stares down at the boy. Its gaze is so bright, like a spotlight, that it blinds him. Who are you? The eye asks. The boy stands tall and asks, Where am I? Where is my family? Ignoring the question, the eyeball stares more intently and examines him. You will be someone to look out for. Curious you learn so quickly. Your rage brought you here. Rage will be your freedom. The boy then wakes up. We find ourselves in the town of Haven's Rest. It's a port town in the south of Vespera province. And it is a small portal-like town. So it's got a portal that connects to other areas of the province. The town is no more than like 3,000 people strong. And we find ourselves just outside of the town square in a place called the Ferry Docks. And in the Ferry Docks, we see a ship that's kind of in the middle of surrounding buildings around the docks. It is basically like it kind of almost like it was shipwrecked there, but also kind of looked like it was permanently placed there. It's got pockmarks all around on the ship's hull. The masts have been taken down from its sails. But it is like it looks like basically just a sunken battleship in the middle of the docks. But when you go inside, it actually is a tavern. Locally, the tavern is called the Sunken Ship Tavern. But it used to technically be called the ship used to technically be called the Haven's Ferry, which is where the ferry docks got its name. Its proprietor, Nissa Nightshade, is up in her own captain's quarters that she kind of has as a residence. She is the dock worker or the dock master of the ferry docks. That's where she calls her home. But she's not. She's kind of like off on her own today. We actually see that there is in the Sunken Ship Tavern. There's not a lot of patrons there right now. It's kind of in between sort of lunch and dinner, so it's past the lunch rush, and the kitchen back underneath the second deck of the ship. The chefs and the cooks are basically cooking up, getting ready for dinner. But there is a tavern keeper that's just kind of like standing behind the bar, and we actually see two patrons kind of sitting by themselves. Mike, why don't you describe a little bit of who you are and what are you doing currently in this tavern?
Sitting by themselves, their head just deep into this book, where they have their mug to the side, and as they are just flipping through the pages, kind of mumbling to themselves, you hear them just slurping just a little bit of dribble coming down from their mouth, and they wipe and these damn mugs. You see Loam Tidepool, a orc warlock that's wearing just, normal leather shirt, and just a fairly short cape around, or cloak, with the hood down this time, because on his head are these long locks of black hair, loosely braided, almost a little disheveled, like they haven't really slept much, because their heads are always in a book, reading about the deep sea. And every time they turn their page, you kind of see them shudder a little bit. And on that book is deep sea monsters. And that is Loam Tidepool.
Okay, perfect. And what would be the current a story that he's reading right now? Is it kind of like a scary story? Are we talking like like a fun seafaring adventure, or what is he currently kind of fascinated with?
Loam doesn't. Well, a lot of people don't know about Loam, except for the audience right now. That Loam has a little bit of a phobia, thalassophobia, and for those who don't know, that is the fear of deep, dark, open, unknowing sea. And Loam, though they are fascinated by this. It gives them this tingling sensation of anxiety every time they even just read about it. And these are just a whole bunch of tales. Maybe they're facts, maybe they're not, but they're just accounts of what the sailors and seafarers have written in this little book.
Cool. Well, actually, at this point, a waitress is kind of going about her duties. There's not a lot of patrons in the tavern, but she's basically picking up different glassware and plates and cutlery and stuff like that. And she kind of comes over to you, and she says, "Would you like another, honey?" And mentioning to your glass.
Loam being so deep into this book and reading, and their just mind is all caught into this deep water, and is actually becomes a little startled, a little bit unusual from what you would seen. And Loam, sitting on the table, and looks up and says, "Aye, can I have another?"
"Oh, I didn't mean to scare you, lad. Oh yes, of course, I'll get you another." And she actually puts the tray down, and she kind of does a bit of her hand kind of waves off, kind of does this sort of cool maneuver, and out of nowhere, magically, a pitcher of ale appears in her hand, and she actually pours you another glass, and she goes, "Think nothing of it, lad." And then magically it just disappears again, and picks up the tray and walks and kind of continues about her duties.
And then Loam just looks at it just in fascination. Actually didn't really notice that that's how we get our drinks, and just grabs the mug and just takes another big old slurping. That's actually tasty.
Yeah, and it's definitely this tavern is known for its libations as well. Actually, why don't you make a first roll of the game? Why don't you make a Constitution saving throw for me to see how well does Loam handle alcohol?
Okay. What do I do this in this the D&D Beyond again?
So you should see in the top left there should be a Constitution
Yes.
saving throw. So just click on that number and then roll.
That is a 20?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Okay, dirty 20. Yeah, you are definitely you're able to handle that alcohol pretty well. It's pretty strong, but you're able to it makes you feel good. It definitely makes you feel good, and you don't feel the effects of the alcohol right now. So yeah, you're just kind of chilling, and you kind of there's actually you can see through a portal what used to be the where the cannons would be. And you actually can see out in the distance a ship that's actually that is being prepared to basically leave dock. And you can kind of see basically there's a bunch of dock workers kind of loading supplies and a bunch of different stuff. Why don't you actually roll me a perception check for me?
Perception. Where are we down here? Okay. Oh, 10 on that one.
Okay, 10 on that one. Okay, you don't really see what is actually being loaded onto the ship. You just see a lot of crates, a lot of barrels, sacks. So it's just nothing kind of catches your eye specifically. But you do see that it is basically about it will be it's not departing right away, but it will be departing within the next hour or so. Cool. All right. Well, let's kind of move across the tavern, or move across the ship to the other patron that is sort of sitting by themselves. Thor, why don't you introduce your character?
My character's name is Squiggly Squenton, a scrappy, small 5'3" individual with androgynous features, lightly bouncing curly hair, dark skin, a button nose, freckles, wearing a green hat, Almost think kind of like Link from Legend of Zelda, and in scale mail, while also having some light robes across the front in green and yellow. Squiggly Squenton, as their mates call them, is they work on a lot of weapons. They work in the ferry docks, and they are well known for their craft. They're good at what they do, and they are also very efficient in coming up with ideas on the fly. But right now, Squiggly Squenton is working on a crossbow that they've been having issues with one of the springs, and so they're kind of winding this knife and trying to get this screw in just the right place. It's a very delicate process, something that shouldn't be interrupted. But Squiggly Squenton, while working on weapons and anything else in this town of Haven's Rest, wants to do anything else but be there. Squiggly Squenton has lived here their entire life, and they've seen all types come through, but they've never been outside of Haven's Rest, and so all they want is to get out. And with that being said, their head's always in the clouds, no matter what they're doing, just thinking of what's out there and looking for that opportunity to get out. But unfortunately, nobody's hiring, and nobody wants to take a smith with them on the high seas, because that's what we come to port for, and we already have that.
Okay. So as you're kind of like just kind of sitting there, the same kind of like waitress kind of comes over to you and kind of again motions over to you. It's like, would you like another lad? Oh, sorry, lad, lassie. I can't really tell.
Oh, don't worry about it. Either or does. Squenton holds up their prosthetic hands and just kind of holds out the mug that they have, and says, I think I'll take another one, please. Thank you. And they kind of just get immediately back to tinkering. They don't really chit chat much, but in this case, they just want to get back to fixing this weapon.
Okay, well, she again does her little magic sort of spell and produces another tankard of or another pitcher of ale, and then pours it into your glass. It's the most beautiful shade of blonde ale, and you kind of almost like see through with the sun kind of shining through the tavern. It has this kind of like nice blonde, kind of golden sort of light to it, and it kind of like as she kind of sets the glass down, it kind of like almost in a way like illuminates the items that you're tinkering, and it kind of catches her eye a little bit, and she goes, my, what kind of a project you got here?
I'm working on this annoying bow right now. The trigger mechanism isn't working, so I've been struggling to do this, and normally this would be easy, but somebody ended up locking up the shop today, and for whatever reason, I can't get in. So, just kind of seeing if I can do this work with my knife, and I figured, what better way to do it than come down to the tavern and enjoy a pint or two. And with that, I grab the pint almost immediately and just down it. I just don't want to worry about getting it all intertwined with my work. But that's the thing about Squenton. Squenton's scraggly and kind of squiggly, and they don't handle their alcohol particularly well, especially for their size.
Okay, well then why don't you roll a Constitution saving throw with disadvantage, because you did say you don't handle alcohol well.
Giving the DM. Oh my God.
What'd you roll?
I almost rolled a 1. I rolled a 9. Oh my God.
You do start to see like a little bit of like your vision kind of like go a tiny bit blurry, just on the edges of it. You are feeling a little bit of bits of the alcohol, but she kind of notices that, like a little bit of that glassiness in her eyes. And normally she would pour you another pint, but then she kind of does another sort of magic spell and produces a pitcher of water and pours you a glass of that and sets that onto the table. It's like, I figured you could be using this a little later, but if you also need some tools, we got some in the back that we can be able to offer you if you need some.
Oh, that would actually make things a lot easier. You know what? I will take you up on that. Lead me to the tools.
Okay, and then she actually kind of like she reaches out her hand and kind of like in motions towards the barkeep and behind there, and she goes, "Nigel, please pass me over the tools." And basically, like he kind of like lifts up from the goes behind the bar, grabs the tool belt that is there normally for different like things that are obviously the ship needs to be maintained a lot. And he snaps a finger, and the tool belt appears in her hand, and she hands it over to you in basically an empty spot on the table, so it doesn't mess with your current setup. And she goes, "Feel free to give that back to Nigel when you're done with it."
Thank you. I should probably only need one tool from this, but this will be perfect. Thank you so much. And with that, I scrap down to working, and I just get right on into it, quickly adjusting the springs and getting this bow back into working shape.
Okay, why don't actually you roll? Either we can go with a. I'm trying to think of like what would be a good tinkering check for you. Actually, sleight of hand. Yeah, let's do sleight of hand check for you.
All right.
You can do sleight of hand or dexterity. Either one would work fine.
Oh, 17. Oh, that was
17. Okay, that's still good. I think basically you were able to with this one tool that like you normally would have back at the shop, but there's this one that is that it's seen with better days, that like it's not necessarily like you keep your tools expertly cleaned and maintained, so that way you can be able to work on this. But it like you take the same kind of like a picking like little like needle pliers sort of tool to be able to fix the bow, and it's not perfect, but it allows you to be able to hold it just long enough with one hand, so you can actually be able to bend the sort of the proper kind of like mechanism to be able to like fire. Because is this a crossbow, or is this sort of like just a regular bow?
This is a crossbow.
Yeah, so basically it's able to like make sure that the tension mechanism that's on the crossbow will be able to hold in place, so that way it doesn't let loose of the coil or the string to be able to like to release. So so you're able to fix that crossbow. It takes a little bit of time, but it's totally fine. And the waitress is kind of like she's fascinated as she's kind of like picking up a bunch of different things around the tavern, but she definitely sees you very, very enthralled in this particular moment, and then she sees you kind of like get excited about when you're able to fix it, and you look up, and she actually kind of gives you a little bit of wink and a smile, and she kind of continues wordlessly kind of go back towards her work, so you both are there for a while. Do you do you feel like either one of you would notice the other, or do you feel like you're just so engrossed in your whatever it is that you're doing that you just kind of feel like you're the only ones in the tavern?
Seeing as Squenton is usually head in the clouds, Squenton's not noticing anything. Squenton is like deep in just admiring their work and thinking about like what else they have to do. But yeah, Squenton would not notice Loam.
Okay. What about Loam?
With Loam, while they are always enthralled into whatever book that they're in, when they have a chance to like not be in the book, they always are scanning and looking around quickly. Nothing to look as suspicious like we're staring at anybody, but just to scan the surroundings real quick, then just go back into once they feel like they're safe.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, as you're kind of like still working, it's it's getting to be about like I said, about mid-afternoon. And you can definitely Loam, you notice that the ship is but there's not that many supplies or kind of materials kind of like just on that boat that's out there. It's pretty much the only ship that's in the harbor currently right now. But you do notice some sailors that actually are kind of walking up towards the tavern, and you can hear them first before they actually enter, and you actually they're pretty rowdy, and they're kind of like they're just yelling at each other, like kind of laughing towards each other. They actually walk in and unfortunately breaks a glass as they enter, and the waitress goes, nah, make sure you don't break any more glassware, or else I'll have to kick you out of my tavern. And they go, sorry, Missy, we will take care of it right away. And one of them actually kind of like does a little bit of a magic trick and kind of casts mending, and like literally the glass that was broken just magically, it was almost if in reverse, kind of mends itself back up together and sets itself back on the table. And she goes, that's more like it. And she kind of walks over towards a table that they're all 4 of them are kind of like gathering, and they each order a pint of ale, and she does her fun little magic trick and starts pouring glasses for everybody there. Why don't you both make an insight check for me?
Ooh, let's go. All right.
Let's see.
Ooh,
Ooh, nice.
22.
22?
Insight. All right. Let's find out. 13.
13. Okay. So Loam. So actually, I'll say with Squenton, you kind of you don't really notice. You notice them that like there, and they're kind of chatting, and you kind of get the feeling that they are there for essentially kind of like one last drink before, like you just overhearing a little bit of the conversation. You're still kind of focused in on your work, but you can't help but overhear a little bit of the conversation. They're just that loud, and because there's not that many people in the tavern, it obviously they just kind of stand out, and you can hear they're just basically kind of talking about one last drink before they go off, set sail on the ship that they've been calling the Bad Moon Rising, and actually Loam, when you hear that, you actually kind of look out back at the ship, and you actually notice the name of Bad Moon Rising on the name of that ship that's there. So, but what you pick up, Loam, on a 22, just on that insight, is that yes, while they are in a kind of happy-go-lucky mood, there is a sense of kind of like seriousness to this. Like, yes, this is one last drink. They're excited to be able to kind of go on a voyage. But it's more than just a happy-go-lucky kind of crew. Like they know, like they are there, and I don't want to say like they're kind of like they feel like they're kind of going to a funeral, but they kind of have that sort like there's something heavy that is almost kind of remain unspoken about what they're talking about. Did either of you do anything in this particular moment?
Not really.
How far am I? I mean, because we're in this pretty much the same room. Am I in eavesdropping range?
You could. I mean, basically, like again, there's not a lot of people here. The tavern is a large, like basically the second level of kind of a large sailing ship, and they kind of like gutted it out of rooms mostly, and it just kind of turns into a tavern. So I would say, based on kind of like where you are, you're at least about like 15 within 15 20 feet away from them, so you could eavesdrop if you like.
You know what? Do you may I?
Yeah.
Mike, is that all right?
Yeah. What's up?
You know what? Actually, I am going to go up to them. And, you know what? Are these people that Squenton would have seen before? Because, I mean, Squenton works at the docks. They see all kinds of people come in, but have they ever seen these people come in?
Why don't you roll a history check?
All right. History. I can do that. Let's see. Oh, my God. 21.
21.
Nice.
Okay. Yes, this is not the first time that the Bad Moon Rising has docked in the ferry docks, and you've seen them before. I don't think you recognize every person at the table, but you do definitely recognize at least 2 of them from before. The other 2 kind of look like that they are relatively new to the high seas, as it were, or at least potentially may have not just based on kind of like who you've seen just around the docks and what type of like people normally go on these voyages as part of a ship's crew. There's like 2 that kind of like the 2 of them kind of stand out a little bit, where the other 2 definitely are sailors that you've kind of seen come in and out, and usually they're not linked to essentially one particular ship or another. They've kind of been on the Sentinel before. They've been on the Haven's Quarry. Like they've been on a few ships. They have done a tour or 2 on the Bad Moon Rising.
All right. So, do I know the names of these 2 sailors?
Tom and Harry.
You know what? I'm gonna go up to Harry. Hey, Harry, what you doing? You come back in the dock again? You doing any fun excursions out anywhere fancy? You got any stories to tell me?
Squiggly Squenton, wow, good to see ya. Yes, we're off on a new adventure out there into the high seas.
You can see that he's got like a patch kind of like over his eye. Not to be stereotypical about pirates, because, you know, pirates aren't the only ones who wear eye patches now. I have to remind you. But he definitely is seeing his better days. He actually kind of hides it well, but he actually he actually is a turtle, and he has a shirt kind of going over top of his tortoise shell on the back, but he's got like that kind of like long sort of like hard snout of a face with an eye patch, and so his eye kind of like squints a little bit, and he slams his his hand down on the table and offers for you to be able to pull up a chair.
Let me tell you about the time that I went off and fought myself a shark off into the deep blue sea.
This story again. You tell this every time you come into port. I swear to God, if I had a beer for every single time you tell this story, I'd have like a lot of beers. I don't know how many that is, but that would be a lot of beers. But no. What are you doing this time? Like I see you got a couple peeps wet behind the ears. I mean, I know you work on the ocean, but you know they seem a little bit wet even for that.
Why don't you actually make a quick insight check for me? Because just at the mentioning of the two people
9 or 18.
18. Okay, you kind of like see, like as you mentioned, the other two that you have not met, they're kind of a little bit reluctant to kind of like reach out and say hi. They're kind of quiet, kind of a little shy, because you could Tom and Harry, they're like literally the kind of like the two talkative of the four, they're basically like they don't like to be perceived is basically kind of like where they're kind of like sitting there, but Harry doesn't mind, and he goes,
oh well, we're off to be able to on this great mission from the captain, Captain Clearwater. He's been bringing people out to serve on the Bad Moon Rising, and can't say much, hush hush kind of deal there.
And
I'm gonna test my luck here. Come on, tell me a little bit. And I kind of, take a gold piece from my pocket and just kind of slide it across the table. Can I attempt to bribe this lucky pirate?
Make a persuasion check.
All right, let's see. Let's do it.
Oh, I thought that was gonna be
What is it?
It's a 9.
It's a 9. Okay. Harry kind of like sees the coin on the table, looks up at you, because you're kind of like, oh, actually, where you're both kind of more like eye level at this point as he sits and you stand, and he looks down at the coin, looks back at you, swipes a coin and puts into his pocket, and it goes,
now, Squenton, I can't be, divulging the captain's secrets here. This is a very important mission, hush hush type deal.
Can I attempt to bribe again with another gold coin?
You can, but we'll say roll another persuasion check, but with disadvantage this time.
Okay, let's see. All right. Oh no! This did not go well. Oh no!
How?
No way.
What'd you roll?
I got double 2s, which is a 4, but like
this time Tom actually like sees the coin. And he reaches across the table and pulls the coin over to him, and Tom goes,
oh, you shouldn't have done that now, lassie. You shouldn't have done that.
And it's just basically like palms, pockets the coin as well. So
Squenton just looks and says, all right, keep your secrets then.
Harry kind of goes,
no hard feelings,
and kind of smacks you on the back, and it kind of like, it does look like you gotta do that. Actually, why don't you make a dexterity check just to see like whether you just kind of fall flat on the table.
Oh my! I was gonna say if that was another 2, I would have lost it. 22.
22. Okay, so you were able to stand your ground,
20.
but. Was it nat 20?
Nat 20.
Nat 20. Okay, yeah. No, you totally stand your ground as this giant, like, I don't even know what's like paw, claw, I don't know what, like stump of a turtle, like kind of just smacks you in the back, and normally would not totally knock you over, but you kind of hold up your hand instinctually, like your prosthetic hand against the table to kind of like force yourself to stay upright. Otherwise, it was a good solid slap, and Harry kind of goes, pull up a chair there, Squenton, pull up a chair.
I pull up a chair.
Okay.
I just, scoot on in. So other than that, though, things been profitable, and I, just kind of begin to banter more so than anything else.
Okay. And yeah, as he says, things a little profitable. Harry kind of like shakes his belt on his waist, and you can hear like the coins jingle in his coin purse, and he kind of regales you of all his his gotten and forgotten wages as he wants to spend some time in the different vices that are in each port town. But Loam, what are you doing while this whole conversation is going on?
I'm actually got from the commotion, just hearing them from the glass breaking. It actually brought my eyes out of the book. I'm still holding my mug and just taking those little sips even more. But noticing, there is Tom and Harry, which we've seen before, but noticing the other two, I want to know, I feel this aura about them that this, it's opposite almost of what Tom and Harry is
Sure.
always has. So I'm just wondering if there is, kind of want to know, I guess, just from looking at them, that how they have like this weird anxiety. Is this anxiety of fear that they're going to possibly die type of anxiety, or is it just like excitement that they're that quiet?
Well, I leave it up to you. You can either roll an insight check just to kind of gauge of kind of like their demeanor and their and kind of like their sort of whether or not they're trying to be able to hide any of their current emotions, or if you like, you can roll something like maybe either an Arcana check, or if you have Detect Magic, I can have you roll that either of those as well.
Yeah. Where's my Detect? I think I have a Detect Magic spell, maybe.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It should be under spells, yes.
I do. Okay.
Okay.
Do I just cast it?
Yeah, just totally cast it. Yeah, you should be able to. I don't think you need to roll for it.
I click cast.
So cool. So yeah, you cast Detect Magic, and as you do, you actually kind of like, you can hear, or you can actually kind of hear the glow, the aura from the magic that's on them. Tom and Harry, they have like some they have some charms, and they have some gems that are on their weapons that kind of give them a little bit of an extra oomph whenever they're fighting. But you definitely catch a lot of magic from the other two. Not necessarily nefarious in any way. You can definitely tell that they are magically armed, and they also like kind of have a bit of a magical aura to them. And actually, they kind of give you the sense of like, if you kind of like sense magic aura as sort of like a color, it's sort of like an aura of purple, which
Catches my eye.
catches your eye. Absolutely. Absolutely. So what would you like to do?
I want to I guess I don't want to actually go up to talk to them directly, but I kind of want to go kind of pass by, and as I pass by, I want to kind of just greet Tom and Harry, and then just to be a little bit close, so I can sit somewhere that's even more close to hear what everything is.
Yeah, why don't you, like, do you want to be like noticed, or do you kind of want to do the stealth route?
As just kind of like not as noticeable, just kind of just, oh, there's just another patron kind of walking by, but then I still just say hi to Tom and Harry, since we all know them.
Okay, so you want to actually like, you just want to pass by and hopefully
just
that
pass by
they'll
to say
see
hi,
you
just to
and
see what happens. Kind of just, out of my own little corner, just move a little bit closer because something is weird about these other two as I noticed their purple aura.
Okay. You kind of start to kind of walk over. You're trying to look nonchalant as you're kind of like walking past. Why don't you roll a performance check to see like how well you can be able to do, you're not trying to be able to like gain notice, but you're also trying to get get attention.
Okay, dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay, yeah, you absolutely are. Like, you look like you're basically like heading towards maybe the bar or either the head off in the back of the ship. Actually, like Harry is actually no, sorry, Tom is the first one to kind of notice you, and he goes, Loam, well, come on in, buddy. We haven't seen you in a while.
Oh, I see you all have came and docked and. Any new stories?
What is with the two of you in stories? Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. You both are very interested in the high seas. Why don't you come join us? We're about to set sail off
and actually, as like Harry's actually doing that, Tom kind of like shoots Harry a look. You both see this, like you don't even really need to see like not like trying to hide it in a way, like and Tom kind of like just wordlessly kind of like gives him Harry a look, and Harry goes,
well, I mean, I'm sure you're kind of busy, and we're just about to dock off, so obviously you need to get approval from the captain and all that. So, next time.
Well, I mean, a little story isn't. Going to take up too much of your time. I think the captain would understand. Just tell them that you're had to get a little bit more provisions.
He thankfully for the distraction of a story. Oh, story! I can definitely tell you. And he starts as he begins sort of like regaling you. Like I'll say this, like Squenton, you've heard him tell these stories many, many times, and you kind of like eye roll as he's telling another one, different than the other ones he sort of tells. And Loam, I'll just say, yeah, you definitely have not heard this one before. So, but you like as he's talking, you pull up a chair and just kind of like you're just fascinated by his his sort of tall tale. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna roll a contested perception/deception roll, and I'm gonna let you know. I want you to roll an insight for me. And
me or Loam?
Loam.
Ooh, 23.
23. Okay. You kind of get the sense that it may this may or may not be true, and he kind of is over exaggerating maybe some aspects of it, more specifically his sort of participation in this story. But Squinton, you've heard this, this is, the actual story of this, and this is totally not true at all. It's just completely made up. But hey, he probably was there on the ship when this happened, but. May not be necessarily the star of the story.
Does he tell it the same way he normally would to me?
Actually, you can tell he's kind of the last time he told it, he's now exaggerating it even more so. He says
there was at least 5 squids that were attacking us,
and you can tell that there was this has now been up from 5 down, from 4 to from 3. He keeps adding new squids as that are attacking the ship as he tells it.
I'm a call. What's their name again? Harry, you're full of pie, okay? Last time it was 3 squids.
Was it 3 squids?
It was 3, and the time before that, it was 2.
My mind isn't what it used to be. All them drink. I love me some rum.
And actually, at that moment, he kind of lifts up his hand and goes,
Missy! I need me some another rum.
And she kind of appears, and she does her magic trick, and this time instead of ale, it's a rum, and he goes, now here, this is this last time that we're going to do this here. We can't have you we can't drag you out of the tavern no more. We ain't got the physical strength for it. And so she pours another glass of rum, and he downs it in like a second, and just like and kind of like wipes his his large mouth and belches a little bit. And you can smell the rum right off of his breath.
At this point, I'm gonna turn to Loam, who I don't believe I've been acquainted with, and I'm just gonna say, "Oh, hi there, Squenton. Nice to meet you." And I kind of hold out my other hand.
Loam he turns to Squenton and it's like, I've seen you around. Loam.
Nice to meet you. I don't think we've ever actually talked because I don't think you've ever come into my shop.
I don't necessarily. I usually am over in the library, just learning about the seas, even though I've never been.
Well, there's you and me both, buddy. Oh, to get out of Haven's Rest. What a dream that would be. But anyway, I think Tortle here is about to give us another ballad in their great epic. I kind of whisper over to Loam.
I'm guessing you've heard these tales before.
Oh my god, yes. Oh, if I had a beer for every single time they've told me one of these stories. With different variations here and thereof, but, you take the company you can get in Haven's Rest.
Yeah, at this point, both of you, like, as you're talking, like, the Tom and Harry kind of, like, directed their attention over towards their two other compatriots, and, at the corner of your eye, Loam, you can kind of, like, see that they're a little bit more receptive to Tom and Harry, and they're kind of, like, loosening up a little bit, but they're still a bit reluctant, and they're kind of, like, keeping an eye on everything that's happening in this tavern. Yeah.
I look at the two strangers and just in a sort of friendly voice and very calm as so how about you two? Do you have any stories to tell?
They kind of like look at each other and kind of like look over at Tom and Harry, who kind of give give them not really like, but kind of like a neutral look. Not really. Actually, you know what? Why don't you roll another insight check for me?
Give me something good. Yeah. 23.
What are these rolls?
23. Yeah. Wow. Okay, you're doing pretty good. Okay, you can definitely you kind of like look over at Tom and Harry, and you kind of get the sense that they're like giving them the signal. It's like it's up to you. They you can talk or you can stay quiet. And so they kind of look back at each other and kind of like look over at you and goes, yes, we're kind of we're new in town. Don't really have a lot of stories to tell. And the other one kind of goes, yeah, same. Not a lot of stories to tell. First time going on the sea.
Can I see if they are just, I wouldn't say lying, but just hiding information?
Yeah. Why don't you roll an insight check, and I'll roll for them as well.
10 this time.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say you need to have beaten a 19. But, Yep. No, you don't sense anything different about them. Your detect magic is still up, and
right.
and you can kind of get maybe the idea that potentially there might have been a connection, a shared connection between the two of them, because they're at one point they're kind of like purple-ish aura. Actually kind of like sort of shimmers and kind of coalesces are like at the same pattern, like basically they're duplicating pattern around them, and you kind of get that you do with that roll, even though it doesn't beat their what they rolled. You do get the sense that potentially they might have cast a message between them to see what they like to kind of ask what you don't know what they said, but you can tell that they were sending messages to each other. So yeah.
I go and I talk to them even more, a little bit, especially more friendly. Is this? Don't worry about. We're here. We're all friends. I haven't been out into the sea. And for what I've heard, Squiggly hasn't been out to sea.
One of these days, I'm telling you, my
We're all
ship's coming in.
friends here.
Oh, I tell you, once we get you out on you both out on the high seas, we're gonna have a hell of a time.
And at this moment, you actually hear Missy, the waitress. Is there anything you wanted to do?
Nope, I did that by accident.
Okay, all right, no worries. Missy kind of like looks over in behind you, and she goes, and she kind of goes to someone is just sort of standing in the doorway of the tavern, and she goes, "Pull up a chair, any chair. There's a plenty available. And we'll get you a drink right away." And this shadowy figure just stands there in the middle, and does not move. And as Missy talks to them, you can see that the two other figures at the table look over towards the door and immediately stand up and crash their chairs and are basically about ready to be they are getting into a defensive position. I want you both to roll initiative. Actually, we're going to do that. We're going to do that with our combat here, and I'm actually going to display the scene for you while I share it here. We're actually going to share our very first sort of battle map on our game. Let's see. We want this one.
Oh my gosh.
So with that being said, actually, I'm just going to grab. Here we go.
This is so cool.
Here we go. And then I am going to okay, here we go. I'm going to show there. You could see kind of like on the upper deck of where the bar is, you see this one woman that's there and that kind of standing in the doorway. Yeah, we're actually going to put Loam. You're going to be right there at the table. And actually, yeah, why don't you tell, like, why don't you both roll for initiative, and then I'll edit it here on here.
I did. It was
I thought it was
bad.
going to be bad. 24.
I got a 4.
Okay, all right. So, Lone, you are up first. Why don't you? What would you like to do?
So we're fighting, right now.
I mean, you basically all you see is just the two. I'll point it out on here. Where is? Here we go. So you actually see these two. Here we go. These two specifically are the two at the table they're unnamed sort of sailors at the table.
Gotcha.
They're kind of just they've kind of stood up. Their chairs are fallen on the ground, and Tom and Harry are about to be able to stand up. But you are up first. What would you like to do?
I want to, I guess, prepare. I'm going to move out, because where is the other figure, the dark figures that came in? Is that over where Iris is, or?
Yeah, the Iris is the one that's standing.
Oh, okay. So I'm understanding that this is not a good situation. I'm actually going to take a step back. Can I click in areas? Can I kind of like move up, basically on the top, the northeast side of it? I'm kind of going to just like kind of back away.
It's like right about here?
Yeah, that's where I want to kind of just like move over. Now, I have a, let's see, is there anything I need to prep for this? Kind of, can I go invisible? A creature you touch is invisible condition until it ends. Can I kind of just... Can I go? Is it... So, invisibility on this Eldritch invocation. Mm-hmm. Is that me?
Anything you said you can touch. So you can touch your... does not sound naughty, but you can touch yourself, and essentially you can turn invisible for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, because I while I see them doing that, I am not too much of a conflict type of person, especially things that I don't know what's going on, especially it's the two mysterious sailors that are more frightened than anybody else, and I don't know too much about them, so I'm gonna back off and kind of Assassin's Creed hide my
Yeah. No worries.
in that
no worries.
corner up there, back up there. That's where I'm gonna.
Okay, that is definitely not a problem. So we'll just have you. We'll just say that basically this black ring around you is your invisibility. So you're currently invisible. So with that, it is basically there is a new as you're basically looking towards the door. There actually is another warlock that appears on the opposite end that kind of has snuck in, and basically, let me just open this up here. I'm just gonna grab and see.
I have a quick question about the layout.
Yeah.
So I see that there's these black dividers on certain things. Are those considered walls here?
Yes, that is the walls of the, because you're kind of under you're not on the top deck of the ship. You're kind of in the deck underneath. That's what the stairs kind of that are on the other end. They kind of lead back up to the top deck. So so this warlock is going to come through and kind of just stands around the corner here and is going to cast Eldritch Blast against I think probably Harry, because this Harry's here that basically is I'll just actually label this as Harry. There we go. And then is going to cast Eldritch Blast. And that is definitely going to hit. And so she's going to roll damage. Takes 4 damage. Okay. We're going to go back here. And we're going to... actually, wait. Pardon me, y'all. This is basically this is the first time I'm kind of using this here. So, we'll take 4 damage. There we go. Perfect. And so next up is we're gonna go. It is. I think it's this guy's turn. Yeah. So this is basically his name that I'll say here is Liam, and it's Liam's turn, and Liam is going to basically. All right, it's actually going to stand up and kind of rush over towards and tries to be able to go do sort of a special. Actually, I'm not going to have you sort of see it just yet, but I'm just going to roll here. Nope, definitely. It looks like they cast basically what is an Eldritch Blast, or you recognize an Eldritch Blast there, Loam, and basically, unfortunately, misses Iris altogether. Actually, sorry, that wasn't Liam. That was actually. I'll have to double check here, but so yeah, that goes there. All right, next up is Harry. So Harry is going to. Get up and doesn't not able to move a lot, but basically gets to about here, and also is going to do a sort of a spell to the warlock that just kind of came in. No, definitely doesn't do it either. Basically, looks like to do a kind of a bit of a magical aura, and just kind of in a wide sort of pattern towards the second warlock, and does not hit at all. So okay. Now it's Liam's turn. We'll just name actually the other guy once we get to him in a different way. So we're gonna do an Eldritch Blast here. Okay, that's against Iris. That's basically a 14. So we'll just do a 1d10. Iris takes 8 points of damage. I need to do. I accidentally added her as an NPC technically. So does 8 damage. Perfect. And we'll do the next sailor. We'll just do another sort of saving throw. Oh, nat 20. Perfect. All right. So the warlock is actually charmed. And basically it's this guy. Actually, I'm trying to be able to see here which one it was. It's kind of hard for me to be able to tell on D&D Beyond. Sorry, it's my blindness sort of coming into play here. Basically is able to it kind of charms and it was actually we'll just say that is the other warlock, and actually goes and says, it's not us we're after, it's her, and basically points towards Iris. So now the warlock is kind of on their side. It is now Iris's turn, and she is going to let's do a is gonna basically gonna come out towards here, jump down towards the deck there, and does a hellish rebuke against, let's go Harry, because he is pretty close, so needs to beat dexterity 13. Definitely does, and hellish rebuke will take 3d10 damage. 8, 10, 13. So Harry takes 13 damage.
I have another question. How high are the ceilings of the deck in here?
I would say they're about 15 feet. It's not tall. It's super not tall.
Okay.
And actually, So we're gonna move the Everkeeper actually out of that too, and it is now. So that's past Iris. Now it's Squiggly's turn.
Hey.
What would you like to do, Squenton?
All right, 15 feet. So here's what I'm going to do. I do not want to be in combat. Squenton does not like combat. They are not a person to rough and rowel. They're 5'3" and they get used as a bludgeoning weapon. So I am going to go ahead and Squenton is going to go ahead and we're going to move. Let's see, I'm not sure if you can see my ruler, but I'll just go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to move back over here.
That's fine. So basically, you move to the where the bow, the front of the ship. So basically, where the bow would be, but kind of in the back further away from where Iris and Warlock.
Yes, I'll say right there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to I think I'm going to grab one of the chairs at one of these tables, and I am going to go ahead and I'm going to catapult at second level.
Okay.
So
love this.
We're gonna launch this chair because catapult has 60 feet range. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to cast this at second level, and what catapult does is I get to choose one object weighing 1 to 5 pounds within range that isn't being worn or carried. I'm assuming these chairs weigh less than 10 pounds.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
They're just basically just pieces of wood that are nailed together hastily.
Basically, choose one object weighing 1 to 5 pounds within range that isn't being worn or carried. The object flies in a straight line up to 90 feet in the direction you choose before falling to the ground. Now, I have a question. Catapults... Yes. Can that go in an arc, or does it have to go absolutely straight?
Catapult, I think because the nature of, if you're kind of, it depends on kind of is it are you firing straight, or are you angling, or you have to angle up? If you have to angle up, then it would definitely be an arch. If you think that it would fire straight, then it would definitely fire straight, but at a bit of an angle that'll kind of.
Okay, so may I redo my movement then? Because I think
absolutely.
All right, so then I'm just gonna go right here where there is a straight line.
Okay, perfect.
And I'm gonna take the chair I was sitting on, and I'm just like, oh, not again. And I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna cast the spell at a second level or a higher slot, which means the maximum weight of objects I can target with this spell increases by 5 pounds, and the damage increases by 1d8 for each slot level above first, which means that this is going to do 4d8 damage.
Jeez, is there anything that who are you aiming for, Iris or the other one?
I'm aiming for Iris.
Okay,
we're going for the
what would Iris need
WWE
to do?
SmackDown. I mean, let's see.
Or is this like an attack roll?
This is an attack roll. This
Okay,
is
all right,
straight
let
up
me
an
know.
attack roll. So
Yeah, roll for it.
all right, let's see. What is the? Where is my roll? Is there an attack roll thing on D&D Beyond?
Basically, if you're going to do a catapult, you can either do. If it's an improvised weapon.
I mean,
or is it actually a thing that you have available to you as an action?
Oh, I was just gonna say this is like literally a spell. This is first level transmutation. So yeah, it's a spell.
Okay. Then I would say basically, you know what? If it's because it's an improvised sort of thing, and you're kind of like creating a little bit of a catapult there, I would just say add your spell attack bonus and your modifier.
Okay. Let's see. So, oh my God!
Well, what is it? What was your spell modifier?
It's a 2, or it's an 8. It's an 8.
It's an 8. Okay. Unfortunately, like you as you aim for this catapult, unfortunately the angle is just a little bit off, and like goes just over her head. She kind of like ducks, and actually there is like a little bit of a crash of broken glass, and. Like something kind of like splooshes out to the outside of the ship.
I swear to God, these twos are wrecking me. Okay, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and can I use my movement now?
Yes, you can. Yeah, because basically you didn't move from where you were. So.
I'm gonna go behind. Let's say right here, and I'm just gonna yell to Liam, "You should probably get out of the way."
Okay, perfect. So actually, I'm just gonna do.
Oh, actually, better idea here. Hold on, is that mast on the deck floor?
On the east.
Yeah, like the mast of the ship.
No, you wouldn't be able to get it. Like it's just outside the ship's wall. So
okay, that would have been fun.
Yeah. So okay, and there we go. Now we got everybody labeled here. So okay, it is next up. It is Loam's turn.
Okay.
You are definitely currently invisible. What would you like to do?
Invisible. I want to. Can I freely move? Oh, let me click this. Can I freely move over here?
Yep. Yes, you can. So you're basically moving from the bow of the ship towards the
right,
stairs,
right in this
kind of like
corner.
around the corner.
Yeah. Like,
Yep. So basically,
like
you're currently. You're currently basically line of sight with Iris, and the warlock is around the corner, like we're towards the back of the bar.
I'm gonna try now. Now I could do my spell. I want to do a sorceress burst. Now there's different types of bursts that I could do. I don't want to click it. I want to do the psychic damage version right now.
Okay.
Since the acid is selected. Do I click this? And then, okay.
Yeah.
So I need. Okay, that's just a practice roll. So
That's fine.
let me do +5, or it's
Also,
not
may I
+5,
say something
do my
real
hit
quick?
to see what I get for the hit, right?
Yep. Roll the hit. And you're aiming towards
10.
Iris, I assume, correct?
Correct.
10?
Iris, yeah.
Unfortunately, just misses, and because of that, your invisibility is gone. She can definitely see you, but yeah, unfortunately, does not hit.
As I try to cast this sorcerer's burst, it just kind of fizzles out of my hand, and all of a sudden, I'm looking at my hands because I'm not invisible anymore. Like, not again.
Fair enough. Actually, why don't you roll? It was acid, right? Is what you were trying to do?
I was trying to do psychic damage.
Oh, psychic damage. Okay,
I don't know how
sorry.
to switch it from that.
Yep, no worries. No, you're all good. All right, it is this warlock's turn. It is going to join the fray. Turns the corner. sees you, Loam, there, and will basically, I'm just going to bring up their sting there, and they are going to come up basically right up to you and do shocking grasp.
Great.
So we're going to.
You got tasered, my friend.
Please.
Does a 15 hit you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Then you take. You take 2 points of damage. You should be able to add that to your.
Do I do 2 and then hit damage? There you go.
Yep.
Nice.
There you go. Perfect. And that is all that the warlock is going to do on their turn. So it's up now. Tom's turn. Tom is going to use their movement to come up right towards Harry, and going to actually be able to use a bit of their. They're going to have basically do a dagger attack against Iris. That's a 15, so that actually will hit. Okay, and they do 5 points of damage against Iris. Takes a little bit of time to be able to do this here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they will also roll again. Yeah, that's a dirty 20. So they're gonna, because they get 2 dagger attacks basically, or Tom gets 2 dagger attacks. And that's also another 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Iris is hurting. Iris is definitely hurting, way like bloodied at this point. So, all right, next is going to be Harry's turn. Harry is also going to follow suit with 2 dagger attacks. That's a natural 20. Who knew that the turtle can basically have some fun too?
Let's go.
So that is double the die. And that is 8 points of damage towards Iris. That's okay. All right. And they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it again. And misses the second dagger attack, unfortunately. Liam's turn is Liam will kind of see you in danger there, Loam, and will kind of come up towards there. And will also actually basically oh yeah, I actually forgot. You know what? The warlock actually was charmed. So yeah, you know what? That actually was supposed to go towards Iris. So basically, Loam, that damage you took, you can take that back. Actually, you can just heal yourself that much because I forgot that the warlock was charmed. And we'll also actually, they'll just basically I'll just have them redo their attack. Yeah, they actually do that, and then they basically. Actually, yeah, same damage. All right, cool. And then Liam is going to come up, and we'll actually go to. Do a unfortunately got a natural 1, so unfortunately does literally nothing. And then Topher is going to also move a bit closer and kind of like ducks on sort of in behind the table there. Wow, really, Steve? Okay. Rolls a 5. Definitely doesn't able to do anything. It is now Iris's turn. Iris is going to disengage and attempt to flee. Unfortunately, based by disengaging, unfortunately does not incur a attack of opportunity and just starts kind of like running off. Actually, at this point, Loam, why don't you roll an inside check? Actually, you know what? Yeah, sorry, yeah. Squenton and Loam. You can because Squenton, you are up next, but Loam, you will be kind of like right after. So I would say like, yeah, what would why don't you roll an insight check for or perception, either or.
I rolled a 20, dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay.
I rolled a dirty 20 also. Twinsies.
Dirty 20. Okay. Both of you, you actually see a symbol that they have kind of like are. Attached to Iris's sort of belt, and you're able to sort of catch a glimpse at it, and you both are able to see basically a symbol of an eye.
Ooh.
Can I roll a history check?
Absolutely. And Loam, if you want to roll a history check, you can as well.
All right.
try it.
Oh my god. 15.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's my history's not that good. Four.
What did you roll?
15.
Oh, okay. And you rolled a 4, Loam? Okay. You may not recognize this particular, like, it does look familiar to you, Loam, a little bit, but you can't quite place it because you haven't really been, out a lot. You only read stuff in stories. But Squiggly, Squenton, you actually notice that is the symbol of a specific patron. You're not sure what just yet or what it is, but a patron is that's their symbol.
All right.
So basically, she's currently kind of like running out towards outside. But like we can still keep going in initiative order if you want to be up to you both. But Squenton, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Ooh, honestly,
there is still a warlock that's engaged right now with Harry and Tom.
let's see. Well, Squenton is not the type of person to engage in combat. And, Harry, Tom, Topher, Liam, and Loam, try saying that 10 times fast, seem to have it settled. I will also say this, though. I did make a mistake on my catapult thing. It doesn't change anything because it's there was a dexterity saving roll there. But just for future reference. But let's see. Squenton, yeah, I'm going to say Squenton is not a fighter. So Squenton's going to kind of just stay back because it seems pretty crowded, and I think anything I do at this point is going to affect everyone in a negative way.
Okay. All right. So you will pass your turn.
I'll just
Okay. And Loam, it is your turn. Like I said, you do sort of recognize that there is there's something about that symbol that actually, you know what? Your detect magic would probably still be up at this point. It does glow purple.
Okay. Let's see if I can do a. Nope. Let me see, what does this one do? I don't want to do that. I am going to just keep on attacking. Let's just try my sorcerer.
So you're just gonna try to attack the warlock that's still left behind? Okay.
I'm frustrated for the first time that I failed my spell, and just wanted to take it out at this warlock.
Okay, fair enough. All right, what would you like to do?
Let's go for the sorcerer's burst again, but this time, lightning, or I believe it's lightning. Yes,
all right.
Lightning.
Roll for it.
Come on, baby. Yes. 22.
22. Okay, that hits. Roll damage.
So 2d8s.
Okay.
And it's 8 total. That
8
is the
total.
Weirdest roll.
7, 8, 9. Okay. They're hurting. Actually, wait. I gotta. Yep. They're hurting. They're not. This is kind of like the first bit of attack, hit, the damage that they've taken. So at this point, and that is that your turn? Or are you gonna be able to move? Or
I'm going to. Yeah, I'm actually. Yeah, no, that would be my turn. I'm just gonna stay right there.
You stay right there? Okay.
Corner.
It is the warlock's turn. So it is actually going to try to be able to leave as well. But it will garner an attack of opportunity from Harry and Tom. Yep, okay, that's going to hit. Okay, they take 5 points of damage because they can only do one attack. They don't get to do a full attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And now it's gonna be Tom's turn because as the warlock kind of leaves their melee range, and that's a 2, so that's definitely not gonna hit. So the warlock is able to like make their way outside. And you basically they've now made it outside the tavern, and you can't see them currently. But Yeah, they kind of like just fled. We can end the initiative order right here if you like, or do you like? Would you both want to pursue if that was an option?
Nope, not my issue, not my problem.
I just want to talk to the two strangers who are Liam and Topher.
Okay, all right. Well, you're able to make it out, and they just kind of like disappear. And that is the end of the encounter. With that being said, so basically, everyone's kind of like breathing heavy. Missy immediately, like, this is not new to her. She basically just immediately starts cleaning up the damage, and she goes, "Third time this week, I swear. I swears to be third time this week." And thank you for protecting me, Tavern. I appreciate it. And as she kind of like squares up, the warlocks are actually both Liam and Topher, who you now know that they've kind of like were shouting at each other for coordinating with their attacks. That's how you caught their names, and they actually kind of like rush towards the door, and yells out, "Did you see the symbol on there? Did you see the symbol? Did you see the symbol?" And Tom and Harry are like, "I don't know what you're what symbol? What symbol?" And he lifts up his own medallion and sees and you can both see it actually has the same symbol.
Oh, you're talking about the patron symbol.
And like Liam and Topher kind of like looks over towards you both and basically, "How do you know that patron?"
I mean, listen, I work here. Okay. Do you know how many people come through here? Of course I've seen it. I can't remember who's it for. I just know I've seen it.
At this point, Loam, why don't you make another history check for me?
Okay. 16.
16? Okay. You immediately, like, once you hear patron and you see the same symbol, and you're starting to put a few things together because you recognize they were warlocks. You recognize that both Liam and Topher are also warlocks, and you actually recognize that symbol. You go back to a past memory, and it feels more like a dream at this point, but you're not sure, or we were too sure. It's kind of like maybe some part of the reason as to why you haven't been able to, like, you've been like, it's sort of reason why you're like keep looking through pirate tales and tales on the adventures in the high seas. You remember the time when you got woken up standing on top of open sea, purple lightning crashing down all around you. A typhoon is encircling you, but you are not getting wet. And you see a giant eyeball, purple eyeball, in the sky. And he offers you the same offer that you dream of, which could potentially be a nightmare every night since. And he goes, "Join me. Your rage is your freedom." And that is where we're going to end today's episode of Dungeons Undisabled. Thank you so very much for everyone watching today. We're going to come back again next week for a brand new episode. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.